Nearly all the Marvel titles this month come with a 70th anniversary frame variant, but when it comes to Amazing Spider-Man 601, why would anyone choose this cover over this? I mean, just look at those puppies. No offense to John Romita, but there's a reason Marvel have already released this as a poster. Unfortunately, as with most comics nowadays, the cover artist does not provide the interiors. In place of J. Scott Campbell, there is a backup stories run by Quesada, who is definitely one of the best in the industry at present, but I'm not really a fan of his current Spidey interpretation. I mean, what's up with those eyes? Anyway, my bet is that this story should have been in last week's anniversary issue, but Joe Q missed the deadline. The main story deals with the morning after the night before, with Peter waking up next to his roommate and not remembering if or not they did the dirty. How is this possible? No matter how drunk I get, I always remember when I make the beast with two backs. Last time she was all like, oh, you were hurting me, but I didn't force myself on her. She wanted me all up in that. Anyway, Mary Jane wakes up alone, but states that she still knows Peter is Spidey. I don't recall this being part of the deal.
That was never a condition of our agreement.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
This deal is getting worse all the time.
Comics with sexy covers and weak interiors seem to be a theme this week. Blood Rain Prime Cuts 4 really isn't worth a mention, except I liked the cover. The trilogy of stories inside were so boring I had to slap myself just to stay awake. Seriously, this is worse than her movies. With the current vampire craze, this character has a lot of potential. And it has been proved that there are no bad characters, just bad writers. Absolution 1 from Avatar Press introduces John Dusk, a superhero in a world where there's sanctioned arm of law enforcement. But John is haunted by previous cases, and after letting a murderer die, he starts on a collision course with teammates Alpha and the Servant. The art is weak, even for Avatar, and the story, while not bad, is unoriginal, and writer Christos Gage manages to generate only enough interest in picking up the second issue by Annette Crotchet. As with Spidey, Exiles number 5 ships with 2 covers, and you will blow off the Polaris cover in favor of Blink. This issue sees the team on a world populated by machines trying to take down Cerebro, who has all but eliminated the human race. And writer Jeff Parker swears this was all his idea and that he has never heard of Skynet. Exiles has had inconsistent sales ever since the original creative team left, but this latest incarnation has lost its way as Marvel's replacement to What If? So it is no surprise that the next issue will be its last. One comic that does live up to its cover is Secret 612, which has the squad split down the middle in regards to their current employment, but that's just a precursor for the main event, Jeanette vs. Wonder Woman. While I have faith in Gail Simone's future plans for the series, I hope this split isn't permanent, as the chemistry between these characters and overall dark humor of the series make this the best DC is producing, with Blackest Night a close second. Although there may be contenders for the title as Keith Giffen tries to revive the Doom Patrol. Hopefully it will be 5th time lucky for the Patrol, but I have a feeling history will repeat itself. Mainly due to the Tony Daniel-like art and redesigns not fitting the characters. If anything is going to save this book, it will be Giffen's teaming with Maguire for the Metal Men second feature. The humor that transfers in the facial expressions alone is worth the price of admission. These two teams could never sustain an ongoing by themselves, but together they may beat the odds. Which Solomon Grundy tries to do as he goes up against Frankenstein with a little help from Bizarro. And I didn't think I could say that. This is issue 6 of 7 and it's Saturday, which doesn't bode well for Grundy, who dies at the hands of Big Frank. Next issue, we will be introduced to a new Grundy, but DC would be missing a trick if they didn't delay this in favor of adding him to the Black Lantern Corps. In trade paperbacks this week, Warren Ellis' Transmetropolitan Year of the Bastard is re-released. In this new edition of Volume 3, which is the best of the series, Spider Jerusalem begins to crumble under the pressure of fame and escapes into a world of bitterness and pills. Armed with only a typewriter, personally I prefer a speak and spell, Spider embarks on an adventure of political cynicism, horrific sex and unwelcome celebrity, with disastrous results. While it still has moments of pure humor, the vicious slapstick of some earlier tales fades into the background. Jason Aaron starts a new series of Ghost Rider with Heavens on Fire #1. The renegade angel Zadkiel is out to thwart biblical prophecy by assassinating a young boy, bred by Satanists to rule the world. So if Ghost Riders Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch are going to save the world, they'll first have to save the Antichrist. Hellstorm, the son of Satan. All this talk of demons reminds of the time I tried to sell my soul to get out of this chair. But then I remembered a friend of mine who sold his soul because he wanted a dick that reached the floor and the devil cut his legs off. Who is this Zadkiel anyway? What happened to Zarathos? Aaron has done so much retcon I may as well toss my GR long box in the river. When the series was revived in 1990, Ghost Rider had an understandable character in straightforward stories. Now there is so much baggage, new and old readers are equally lost. More mystical stuff now, with Marvel Zombies 4 #4. A fan of the original when I heard this series was going to focus on Marvel's monster characters from the 70s, I avoided it like the plague. But after some coercion I did read it and found it entertaining. While Volume 3 used Machine Man to inject humor into the proceedings, Volume 4 falls back on that old reliable character Deadpool to act as the voice of comic observation. It makes sense to stick to the formula, since the concept, already inherently ridiculous, gains little weight from being played straight. There's also a little extra riffing on the zombie concept, harking back to the voodoo history of the phenomenon with the appearance of Marvel's more traditional zombie, Simon Garth. The cast works as a group, though Hellstorm still sucks, and all these characters can now be used again after having some dust shaken off. And could lead to a Marvel Monsters title in some way, as well as the already launched Deadpool, Merc with a Mouth, which reaches #2 this month. And while it may be inferior compared to the regular series, it is still enjoyable, and the zombie Deadpool head could play a major role in the Marvel Universe, if done right. This issue comes with 2 covers, and I'm sure you know which way I'm going to go, but why not help out your local comic shop owner and go for the pricier version? Blue Water Productions have released a female Force, Princess Diana one-shot. Princess. Public figure. Philanthropist. Parent. Diana, slut, Princess of Wales, emerged in the early 1980s as a fresh face to the stoic British monarchy, with a storybook wedding but later a tabloid breakup, affairs, and murder at the hands of Prince Philip. I don't know what went through the publisher's mind when they released this, but unlike Diana, it probably wasn't the steering wheel. Next month Blue Water will be paying tribute to Henry Paul, the People's Chauffeur. Dark Reign, the Goblin Legacy, could be seen as redundant. While Marvel is no stranger to putting out handbooks and reprints to supplement a crossover or major storyline with some low-cost content, rarely do they go to the extent that this issue does. Although the new material is little more than window dressing for reprints of Amazing Spider-Man issues 39 and 40, which were the issues where the Goblin's identity was revealed. Unusually, Marvel has actually gone so far as to recolor both issues to give a more modern look. Worse recoloring jobs have been done, and this is a respectful job that sticks fairly close to the originals. But this is a matter of personal preference, and I think it highlights the dated art which weakens the story as a whole. Celebrity-endorsed comics are never welcome, and the newest red-haired stepson is T. Reese Gibson's Mayhem. In a city swept up by a brutal crime wave led by a kingpin known only as Big X, masked vigilante Mayhem and his partner Malice. Sorry, I can't waste time on this. If you're a fan of T. Reese, and who is, please feel free to pick this up, roll it up, and shove it up.